Well, yes, good morning, and thanks for joining the webinar session. This is Ganesh, and I'm part of ManageEngine's Privileged Identity and Access Management suite of products. I also have Feroz and Santosh with me, and they're part of the technical team for ManageEngine Remote Access Toolkit products. So today we're going to take a look at some of the challenges that enterprises might face in terms of enabling remote access. And we'll see what are the security implications of opening up your internal infrastructure to allow your end users to be able to log in and make use of the solutions for their day-to-day operations. So 2020 hasn't really been kind to us so far. So we've had the Australia bushfire incident, earthquakes, and on top of all of that, we're currently in the middle of a pandemic. Pretty much all the enterprises all over the world are scrambling to allow their users to access the internal servers, applications, appliances, just to make sure that they are able to continue their business process. So it is tough and challenging times, but it's not all bad. We do have a handful of positive events happening all over the world. We've had more than $500 million donated for Australian bushfires. We've had the second person in the world to be cured of HIV finally. So, yeah, even though we face a lot of challenging times, we as humans have this tendency to bounce back and learn valuable lessons from the challenges that we face. So the most pressing problem that enterprises of all sizes face at the moment is business continuity, especially when there's a lockdown. How are we going to allow the users to access critical applications or maybe their own workplace machines to be able to continue their day-to-day operations? So some of the challenges that you might face is your IT technicians in need of access to target devices for troubleshooting specific problems and provide desktop support. Your IT administrators probably will need access to data center and other business critical applications. You might have CIOs, managing directors, and security auditors in need of access to internal reporting and monitoring applications. So, in general, so maintaining support and providing uninterrupted flow of business is going to be the biggest challenge. And then you have end users who are probably forced to work from home, and they are probably in need of access to their own workplace machines and other applications and servers that they access on a day-to-day basis. So, specific requirements such as IT support technicians in need of access to launch system tools, monitoring tools to be able to quickly troubleshoot problems. Third party workers and contractors might need access to your devices maybe for a day or two just to perform their day to day operation. So you need to figure out a way to give them access without actually creating a specific account for them or giving out passwords or anything like that. And then data centers are some of the most secured infrastructures. So they're typically locked down with firewalls. There's no direct way to get to the data center, but you still have to figure out a way to allow your administrators who are in need of access to the data center. So a best strategy would be to create a jump server or a landing server design where you force the users to go through multiple hops, through multiple ports to finally reach the particular data center resource. But administrators might also need collaborative abilities to be able to perform voice or video chat in a single session to discuss and troubleshoot problems. So these are some of the challenges. But when in terms of security implications, like what are the things that you should really look at when you are ready to open up your internal infrastructure for remote access or allow users to work from home. So the first point you will need is a strong layer of authentication. You make sure that the users go through at least two layers of authentication before they can actually connect to the target systems. And you make sure that all the connections are encrypted end to end so that there's no security risks associated to the remote connections. The conventional VPN systems typically require a lot of maintenance. You have to specify a zone and have your infrastructure readily present in that zone for the users to be able to access it. And they also lack auditing capabilities like real time alerts or monitoring capabilities, where if somebody is connected through VPN, you can get some basic audit, but there's no real way to be able to shadow the session and see what that particular person is doing across the infrastructure. And VPN systems also lack workflows. For instance, if somebody needs an ad hoc access to a critical server, there should be a way for the user to put in a request, supply the reason and the purpose of why they are in need of access and for how long they need the access for. And then the approving authorities should be able to review the request and approve it based on the requirements. So these are some of the points that you should note if you are looking for an effective plan to open up your internal IT infrastructure. So, with regards to a remote access, the best practice is to maintain a central database where all of your endpoints and infrastructure assets are listed so that it's easy to track and it's easy to delegate access to different users with different set of permission levels. And it should also have this request approval workflow, especially for critical servers where you have critical applications running in data center and things of that nature that are highly sensitive. There must be a proper request approve workflow where the right authorities are notified. In some cases, you might even need multiple approving authorities have their say in whether a session should be granted or not. And recording all those sessions so that you can play back and find out what was done during a particular remote connection, or to be able to shadow the sessions in real time, especially if a contractor or a vendor is working on a particular server. It is a good idea to have a way to shadow the session so that you will have some level of control. If you find the user doing something they're not supposed to do, you should have a way to terminate the session and take control of that particular asset. Um, so, in general, if you are looking for ways to enable your users to work from home or allow your IT administrators to be able to perform their day to day operation remotely, the first and foremost step would be to choose the right set of tools. So, equip your users with the right set of tools, and that would be a real good start. So, they will be able to use the devices and applications remotely. So that said, how can ManageEngine help? So as you know, we have more than 60 plus point products focusing on various IT requirements. So we recently launched this secure remote access toolkit. So it's a bundle of 2 point products. And the first one is Access Manager Plus. So this is a agentless, lightweight solution. Would be really helpful for end users looking for a way to work from home if they need access to their own workplace machines. It supports workflow, it supports ticketing system integration. So your IT technicians will be able to supply the ticket number to get auto approval for remote access. It has session shadowing and file transfer capability. So users will be able to push and pull files, and all of these sessions are going to be fully audited and recorded. So you will be able to play back and find out what was done during a remote session. The next product we have is Remote Access Plus. This is an agent based solution, but it offers a lot more powerful capabilities, and it would probably be more suitable for IT administrators because of the fact that it allows you to launch a task manager, registry, event viewer, and all the system tools remotely without having to launch a full blown remote desktop connection. It helps users in troubleshooting problems. It's got voice and video chat and collaboration options, Wake on LAN and other functionalities as well. Um, so you could go for any one of these products or both of them based on the requirements that you have, based on the size of your enterprise and type of challenges that you are facing. So that said, I'll pass this session over to our technical experts from these product teams. So they will be able to share their screen and elaborate on what functionalities this particular product offers. So just give me 1 minute. All right, Feroz, I've transferred the session to you, so you can go ahead and share your screen.
All right, thank you so much, Ganesh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. My name is Feroz. I'm one of the technical consultants here in ManageEngine Access Manager Plus. And I'm going to be the presenter for Access Manager Plus. So I'll be talking about the product for about 15 to 20 minutes. If you have any questions during when I'm talking, please feel free to post it over the questions panel on the left side, and we will try to address as many of those questions towards the end of the session. And if we miss any of those questions, we will make sure we answer it through an email. And a recorded version of this webinar will be available for you in the next few days. So let's get started with today's session. So Access Manager Plus. So this product is a web-based privileged session management solution for regulating access to remote systems through secure channels from a unified console. So with Access Manager Plus, you can monitor, record, control, and fully audit over the privileged sessions, therefore gaining full visibility into the privileged access use. So before we can actually jump into the product, I would like to talk about a few important things when it comes to providing secure remote access. So it is essential to have access to remote systems. It may be part of our job, especially in this current COVID situation. Most organizations around the globe are working from home and they need access to remote resources. While IT administrators and internal employees or third-party vendors need privileged access to do their jobs effectively, this shouldn't mean granting full control of your IT environment to them. So the privileged access needs to be delegated in a secure manner. So I have come up with a few questions to have a better understanding of our product, Access Manager Plus. Firstly, how does your internal employees and remote workers connect to the critical servers? Most organizations provide direct remote access to the users or make it possible through a VPN. But we need to understand that just having a VPN configured to have access to the remote systems is not enough. And organizations also tend to share the privileged account information via spreadsheets, documents, emails, which does not have any security. So Access Manager Plus allows admins to provide secure remote access to the users through a secure channel. So you can install a trusted SSL certificate for the Access Manager Plus web console, and every connection will happen over a secure HTTPS channel. And all the sessions launched from the Access Manager Plus web console are initiated from the actual Access Manager Plus server, and the users only see a tunnel division of it displayed on their screen. Therefore, you can eliminate shared accounts and you can disable direct access to the critical systems for all the remote users and make them mandate them to log into a critical solution like Access Manager Plus to have access to their remote systems. The best way to protect your organization from security threats is to deploy a multi-layered defense strategy that covers all endpoints of your entire enterprise. So you must apply encryption, multi-factor authentication, amongst all other measures. So in Access Manager Plus, we use the AES 256 standard of encryption, and all the data handled in Access Manager Plus will be duly encrypted at an application level, also at the database level. So Access Manager Plus provides various options for onboarding the users and the connections automatically, and also supports multiple authentication mechanisms. So let me quickly show you the web interface, the user interface. So here, so this is how it looks. So when you log into Access Manager Plus as an admin, you can see all these tabs. So there are different roles in this product. So like we have two predefined roles within the product. So this product gives role-based access to the users, and admins can also very well go ahead and fine-grain the permissions of the users. So here, The two major sections I would like to talk about are the user section and the manage section. So firstly, the user section is where you onboard all your users. So anyone who wants to make use of this tool has to be added as a user here. So for adding the users, we have multiple options. So you can directly import the users from the AD, Azure, LDAP. We even support SAML single sign-on. So you can use any SAML 2.0 supported tools like Okta or ADFS. So users can make use of their own AD credentials to log into Access Manager Plus. And when you onboard the users, you will assign them with one of the two predefined roles. Apart from that, you can also create your own custom roles, and you can very well go ahead and you can go fine-grained in terms of what a user can or cannot do within the product by defining the permissions for the role and assigning that specific role to the end user. And next is the manage section. So in the manage section, you go ahead and add all your connections to the critical remote systems. So administrators can automatically discover all the IT assets from the AD by supplying a privileged domain account credential. They can also automatically discover all the Linux devices within an IP range. But a standard user doesn't have that option. So standard users will not have the dashboard view or the users view. So standard users can see all the connections added within the product. They can also add the connections, but they do not have the discovery option. They can only manually add all the connections. They can launch connections directly from here. So just simply press connect, and it will launch a connection directly to the remote system. And every connection launched from within this UI will be recorded. So all the sessions initiated from here will all be recorded. And admins can go to the sessions tab. They can go ahead and play back all the sessions. They can see all the sessions happening in real time. They can join the session. They also have the provision to terminate the session. So if the admins see the end user performing something suspicious, they can immediately go ahead and terminate the session. Apart from just monitoring and terminating the session, we also have a unique feature of session collaboration. So multiple administrators can go ahead and collaborate into a single session and work collaboratively. So let me move on to the next question. How does your users connect to the servers and devices present in your data center? So most organizations provide direct remote access to the users, but in some environments, direct access is limited to remote devices via RDP or SSH connections. Instead, data center admins working remotely are required to log into a landing server and then hop to the target system. So there are even cases where admins must make multiple hops before connecting to the target system. And during each step of the remote process, the admins must provide the username and password, as well as know the IP address of the landing server. But using Access Manager Plus's landing server configuration feature, you can launch direct connections to the remote systems in the data center. So you can configure any number of landing servers to remotely access the IT equipment in your data centers. So Access Manager Plus takes care of establishing connection with the landing servers and finally with the remote resources in a fully automated fashion. And when access is required for a point application, do you provide full access to your entire server? Yeah, so most organizations provide full access to the end users when they only need to access a specific application on a target device. So in addition to launching direct connections to remote systems through landing servers, Access Manager Plus allows you to connect to particular applications that are already configured as remote applications in the target system. So IT admins, so it increases the accessibility and the ease of use when connecting to remote machines. Remote apps make the privileged sessions easier to control for IT administrators. For example, if a user connects to a machine by clicking on the remote app for calculator, only the calculator application will open up in the remote machine, and they will not be able to access any other programs. So you can add remote applications here and associate to the connections, to the different connections here. Or if you already have configured the remote applications on the target connections, you can go ahead and fetch those connections automatically. So basically, next to the connect button, you will have another button where it will list all the remote applications. So users can simply click on any remote application and it will launch that application on the target machine. Apart from that application, they will not be able to use any other program. And it is also essential to have a request approval workflow mechanism implemented while providing users access to critical ID assets, because admins would not want people to have access to critical remote systems all the time. Instead, we prefer having them request access from the administrators for the remote resources. So in Access Manager Plus, you can configure access control feature for the critical devices, and the users will be challenged to send out a request to the admins if they need access to the critical system. And only if the admin approves the request, the users will be granted access. So here, if you see, I have configured, I've enabled access control feature for this connection. And so when the standard user logs in, he will only see a request button. So he will not be able to connect to the machine. Instead, they will have to send a request. And upon the approval from the administrator, they will be allowed to launch a connection. Next question, how are files being transferred from and to the servers, and do you monitor the files being transferred? Right. Access Manager Plus uses the Secure File Transfer Protocol, SFTP, to transfer files to the remote servers. So without having to log into the remote machines, you can perform file transfers between remote machine to remote machine, or you can upload or download files from a local system to the remote machine, or from the remote machine to the local system. So you can select the remote machines and you can perform the file transfers, or you can go to the connections tab and you can perform like upload or download the files to the remote machines. How do you lock down privileged employees' access to servers as soon as they quit the organization? All right, so when a key employee leaves the organization, you can simply go to the Users tab and you can simply transfer the ownership of that user. So all the connections added by that user will be, the ownership of those connections will be transferred to another user within Access Manager Plus. And then you can simply go ahead and delete that user from Access Manager Plus, or even you can go ahead and lock that particular user. So the user will not be able to log into Access Manager Plus anymore. Suppose if the user was imported from the Active Directory and you have deleted that user from the Active Directory, then the user will be automatically locked in Access Manager Plus during the next user synchronization interval. Apart from all these features, this tool also provides effective monitoring, session recording, session collaboration, and auditing. So this tool has a powerful auditing capability. So all the operations performed from the web console will be audited, and it will be available as a record to you here in the audit section. So if you see, these are all the operation types that can possibly happen within the product. And you also can set up real-time notifications for any of these operations. Suppose if you want to be notified whenever somebody deletes a connection from Access Manager Plus, you can go to configure audit and you can set up a notification for that operation. You just simply enable the send email checkbox next to that operation. So all administrators will be notified whenever somebody deletes a connection. Apart from the notifications, Access Manager Plus also can forward syslog, SNMP traps, and syslog messages to other management systems. So if you have any CM solution in place, like ArcSight or Splunk, you can directly integrate those products, the CM solutions with Access Manager Plus, and all the raw audits will be forwarded to the CM solution. And we also have help desk integration. So if you're using any ticketing system, you can integrate that with Access Manager Plus. And the users, when they need access to a specific connection, they will be challenged to provide a valid ticket ID. And upon the validation of the ticket ID, the users will be provided access or granted access to the required connections. So thus, the auditing and the session recording feature are certain. Everything is recorded and for review in case something goes wrong and for complaints reasons. And finally, the licensing of the product, it purely depends on the number of users you want to have in Access Manager Plus. And from a database recovery standpoint, we have a database backup feature. So this option cannot be disabled. It will run once in a day, week, or a month. So even in any case of accidental data loss, or if the tool went down, you can easily rebuild the tool and restore all the data from the recent database backup that was created. So the database backup will be created and it will be stored as an encrypted file on this specified storage location. So thus we make it easy for organizations to have a secure channel of remote access to the IT assets. And we are providing free licenses till the July 1st. So you can go ahead and download the product from our website and start evaluating the product and see how best it can fit for your organization. So that's everything from my end today. I think the session was very useful. And yeah, so there are still many other types of remote access required for other types of users, and that will be covered by the other solution, Remote Access Plus. So I'm going to transfer the session over to my colleague to present to you the other product, Remote Access Plus. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Right, I'm just going to go ahead and transfer the session to Santosh, who will be handling the Remote Access Plus solution. All right, Santosh, you're on.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Feroz. Hi, this is Santosh from the Remote Access Plus support team. So Remote Access Plus is one of the product in our endpoint management and security solutions. So we have products like Desktop Central, Patch Manager Plus, which can help you with the management of computers and mobile devices. So Remote Access Plus is one of the tool where you can take remote control of a client computer and you can perform the troubleshooting. So this Remote Access Plus can be also useful when an end user want to access his own computer, which is an office, during this work from home situation. So in this session, I will explain you about how this product can help you during this situation. Basically, Remote Access Plus is a client server model based application. So we have the on-premise solution and the cloud solution. So if you want to use the on-premise solution, you can download a product and you can install it in your any one of the Windows computer in your network. And if you would like to use the cloud product, you can just sign up from this website. So once you install the product, you'll be able to access the software from any one of the browser. So you can use the computer name where the software is installed, or you can use the IP address. And with the port number, you can access the product. So if you want to use the cloud product, you can just use this website, remoteaccess.manageengine.com, and you can use the email which you used for sign up, and you can log into this product. So as I told you, this product is based on the client. So you have to install the agent on all the client machines. So this product will use a little bit of usage on the client computer. So you have to install the agent. So to install the agent, we have multiple methods like automatic method and manual method. So you can download the agent and you can install it manually, or using the domain validation, you can just add the computers automatically to all the client computers. So now you see that I have installed agent on one client computer, and you can also check the status whether the machine is up and running using this particular status icon. So now it's green color indicates the machine is up and live. So similarly for the cloud product also, you'll be having the option to install the agent, and once the agent is installed on the computer, you are very well okay. And now in case if the end user has reported that his computer is running very slow, and you want to do some troubleshooting, so now we can easily take remote control and we can work on the issues. So in Remote Access Plus, we have two major features. One is that actually you can take a remote control of a client computer and you can perform the troubleshooting. And the other one is the system manager options, say like without actually taking a remote control, you can perform few tasks. Okay, so first we'll see about the remote control. So now an end user reported that his computer is not working properly, or he needs some assistance with installing a software. So you can actually take the particular client computer a remote connection. So now this is the computer. I can search the computer name, and I can check with him whether this is the perfect time to do the troubleshooting. So once I got a confirmation using the inbuilt chat tool, you can connect with a remote session with him. So I can connect. So once I connected, I will be able to see the particular client computer on this viewer page. So we use the HTML5, and you will be able to perform the troubleshooting as required. So you can just go ahead and install the software, whichever you needed. So during the troubleshooting, if you would like to get some confirmation, or if you want to inform to the end user, so we do also have a chat during the remote session. So you can use it from here. And if you want to share some files to the computer, or from the remote computer you want to take some files, you can use this file transfer option. And say like now you want to access the network storage, okay, to install some software. So if you want to use any credentials, so you can use this black and monitor option, and you can enter your credentials so that your credentials will not known by the end user. And we also have some options where you can open up the control panel using the quick launch options available from the left pane. So also we have the capability to change the user profile. So now normally it will run on the system user, and if you want to run a particular command prompt window, and if you want to run that as a system administrator or a different user, so you can use that particular user. So the operations will be carried out using that particular user account. Okay, so these are all the features available after taking remote control of a client computer. So as I told you, so now we have the system manager feature. So for example, if the end user is informing his computer is very slow, so what you can do is, without taking a remote control, you can use the system manager option, and you can go to the task manager from here, and you'll be able to see what are all the process running and why the computer is very slow. You can make some basic troubleshooting from here, and you can try and see if this is going to fix the issue. So if it is fixed, you can just inform the end user that the issue has been fixed. Okay, so you can also see if you want to run some commands remotely, you can just run the commands. And if you want to uninstall some softwares which is corrupted on his computer, you can also uninstall from here. And also we have the file manager option, so you can easily see what are all the files available on the client computer. If there are unwanted files, you can clean that files as well. Okay, so now during this work from home situation, there will be two requirements. So like one thing is the IT administrators has to log into this portal and needs to troubleshoot a particular issue with the end user's machine. So there is also another scenario where the users has to remote into their own computers in the office. So if you want to provide that kind of ability, so you can add the particular user to this portal. So you can add as an with the permissions like AD authentication or a local authentication. You can create a username and password, and you can provide it to them. So they will be able to log into this particular portal from their personal computers, and once they logged in, they will be able to see their computer and they can easily take remote control. So here, to limit a particular number of computers to a particular user, we also have the custom group feature. So now, for example, you want Paul to access only one computer. So you can just create this group, just add only one computer. And while creating the user profile, you can just add that particular one custom group. So when Paul is logging into this web portal, he'll be able to see only his own computer and he can easily access it from his personal computer. And to provide you a kind of a reporting, so we have the remote control history option. So you'll be able to see which particular user has logged into this web portal and which computer he has taken a remote and what was the duration. And also we provide you a session recording option. So once the recording is enabled, you'll be able to see the particular recorded file and you can use it for any auditing purpose. And say in case the IT technicians are performing a troubleshooting for any end user, and if they are having any chat conversation during the troubleshooting, you'll be able to monitor or you'll be able to view that chat conversation from this chat history. Okay. So in the admin panel, we have the remote control settings. You'll be able to enable the remote session recording. And also if you'd like to ask permission before taking the remote session, so you can enable this user confirmation as well. And in Remote Access Plus, we also have a few features like wake on LAN and remote shutdown. So in case now you, like one of the user machine in office, it got shut down due to some power failures. So you can use this wake on LAN feature and you can wake up that computer and then the end user can remote into that machine and he can work on it. And we also have the announcement option. If you want to announce any information to all your end users, you can just create an announcement and you will be able to distribute to all the end users. So this is all about remote control settings and remote control features. So this product licensing is based on computers. So if you want to manage 100 computers in your environment, so you need to purchase 100 computer license. So you'll be provided with 5 user license as well. So you can add 5 IT technicians or IT administrators. And in case if you need furthermore a license, a user license, you can just request us. So we'll be able to provide you that as well. And as Feroz informed, so we are providing you a free license until July 1st this year, 2020. So you please do install either the Remote Access Plus or you can sign up for the cloud version and you can evaluate and see how the product works in your network. And in case any issues or you want to get some more information, you can just contact us through the chat panel, or you can also call us through the support numbers available in the product. Thank you, guys. I believe the training was very helpful. And thank you for joining due to this in this particular situation. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Ankush. Thanks for your session. All right, guys. If you have any other questions, you can just use the questions pane in the left pane to just type it, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. So we'll also be sending the recording of this webinar link to your email, so you will be able to play back and listen to it again or share it with your team members and colleagues. And you can also reply to our emails if you have any questions, or if you are looking for a more personalized demo where we can do a deep dive of the product and show you how it works in a live environment. Yeah, so if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the questions pane. All right, so we haven't had any questions other than the ones that we got earlier. So thank you so much for joining the session, guys. I hope you're all safe. You guys have a wonderful day, and we will send out an email with the link for the recorded webinar. Thanks again, and thanks for your time.